everyone. My name is Milan. I've been a motorcycle journalist for about 12 years and started getting into supermoto racing just recently due to all my history and involvement into the motorcycle industry. I thought it was one of the best sports in the industry that helps you skill build to become a better motorcycle rider. How I prepared for the AMA Supermoto was a lot of mountain bike training. I had my own Supermoto that I was supposed to train more on, but unfortunately got into a terrible motorcycle accident, so that cut down on my training time a lot. My biggest fear on the circuit, it's not crashing or going fast. I'd say it would be a rider error where I make a mistake that hurts myself or someone else. But as long as you're well equipped and the motorcycle is, has its crashy safeties to where you could wash out or run off circuit, that that doesn't frighten me. It's just kind of part of the game, and that's what you see out here with all these supermotos. Is these guys have their bikes that are completely covered in plastics that could be replaced and dropped 100 times and picked back up as long as the motor's still okay. So that's kind of the idea. So the Ducati Hypermotard 698 Mod, when it first came out, I was super intrigued on how it was pretty much just a smaller version of my Pikes Peak, and I thought that this bike immediately would be a great bike to compete with because it was a single cylinder. What you do is you just come into a corner as quick as you possibly can and just dump all the gears all the way down to the first gear, and while you're slamming on the rear brake, and the whole thing will just do its own backing in process electronically without having to use a clutch. So that bike is just absolutely an amazing skill building machine. So the reason this year why I decided to participate in the AMA Supermoto was to bring more brand awareness to the sport in the United States. And it's really interesting to see that a lot of Americans, want to bring that over here to the United States. So pretty much with my page and my socials, I just want to be able to shed the light on the AMA Supermoto series. The biggest thing that made me nervous on the circuit was the sliding aspect. There were many slippery spots that were consistently just slippery, so I would try to push in sections where my front would slide or my rear would come out. Also, when following other riders and following their line and either crashing or coming into a corner too fast because we were both trying to race each other, that was it's also nerve-wracking a little bit to not want to hit another rider. And the start's always the most intimidating and nerve-wracking thing, especially being in the back, essentially. Having to make my way forward because my bike was a little bit faster in the launches, and then getting mid-pack and keeping up with him without having to touch anyone was a really fun and nervous experience. But that's all the part of racing, and I like it. I would definitely do more of it. This being my first race, it was really interesting to see everyone in the pits, especially everyone who came from overseas. I know there was a few Italians and also some US racers who went and also came back. So it's interesting to see everyone's different point of view and perspective and how they would set up, whether you were in a trailer home, whether you were in a tent. Some people were sleeping in the back of their cars. And it got me thinking, supermoto riders all share the same passion in a sense that they want to become a better rider, and that's what I think makes the sport really interesting. It's all about progressing and being able to have the best skills on your motorcycle. Also, being a privateer and showing up to the event with little to no knowledge of having the right equipment or setup, having trackside support was a huge plus at an event like this. With the Toxic Moto Racing guys, they were able to help not only myself but everyone else change out their tires in a timely fashion to get the practice and qualifying and racing it. So having passionate people who are in the industry and sport who want to come out even in their trailer with all their tires and anything they have in terms of spare parts to support racers at this sort of level was really fun and interesting, and those are the people that pretty much keep the sport together. This overall racing experience taught me the level on how these athletes have to perform in this AMA Supermoto and even at a much higher level, and it was a great experience to be a part of, and I'd love to be able to support this race series and this racing scene in the United States more, especially getting everyone else more involved into the riding and skill building aspect of supermoto riding. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who was involved and who came to support me, and I hope to continue this beautiful journey in the future.
crashing. So, but it's just part of the game, you know. It's about how you can take a crash, you know, if it's going to take out your entire day or you're going to put the bike back together and keep going. Feels good if I get back on the bike and get going. If I'm hurt, that sucks. It's a shitty feeling. It's a really tough feeling to deal with.
What motivates you?
Just the fact that I'm here, you know, I might not be able to be here again. So I paid to be here. I worked my ass off to get the bike built and everything. So here we are. I gotta live it all the way through.